RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tara Devlin. I'm sitting down. I know. I'm standing up at a standing desk, but I felt like sitting today. That's the mood I'm in. I'm feeling like, stand up, sit down. These are the options. So I'm choosing to sit. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and I think, God damn it, we need more of that. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Just let me get the plugs out of the way. So we're on Progressive Voices, of course, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Please give the show a good review on iTunes. That helps get us up in the whatever algorithm, and if people are looking for political talk shows, hopefully they'll find this one or others like it. Well, hopefully this one, but and yeah, they'll learn the truth rather than learn to drink bleach, right? Yes, I see you, Peter. Thank you already. If you're on any other channel, come on over to youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster and hang out in the chat room. That's the chat room I'll be interacting with the most. I know we stream on Facebook and I don't know where else. Discord. Do we do? Oh no. Whatever. Twitch, wherever the hell. But there's too many screens, so I haven't yet figured out how to chat with everybody at the same time. And all right, I see River in the chat room and I see Peter in the chat room, so come on over and join us. youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. And what else we're going to talk about? Oh yeah, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And I also want to thank the patrons for keeping the show going and growing, especially Randall. I want to thank you, Randall. I see you up to your already extremely generous patronage. So please, if I really want, I'd like to thank you. If you want to send me an email at tarabustermedia@gmail.com, and we'll pick something out in the Tarabuster merch store. A shirt, maybe one of these, Therefore, I'm liberal with the brain, or we have a new one, fascism equals death. Okay. And who else? We have Teresa, thank you for your patronage. And Michael, these are new patrons for December. So, all right. We will keep going and growing. We'll keep trying to make the world a better place. No pressure. So, I'm glad to be here. Yesterday I was going to do a show. Yesterday was my birthday, and it sucked. All right. I mean, I want to get it out of the way. Just get that out of the way. It's ironic, everybody. Not ironic. It is what it is. I have the worst possible birthday day. 2 days after Christmas. It's right in between Christmas and New Year's. Nobody cares about my birthday. It's been the same way my whole life where, people are exhausted. Me too. And I don't know. This has been a tough life and tough year, but so I'm glad I would be glad to get through the holidays and just put it all behind us. For me, let me speak for myself. And the other thing that really gets to me, I mean, everything is depressing. I've been sharing. I've been a little bit down and trying to get it out of my head. Unfortunately, I feel like what happened was, usually I'm a little better at not allowing myself to attach to those negative thoughts and then let them carry me away. But I feel like the example is what I've used before is that it's almost like sitting on the edge of a raging river and watching it go by, or falling in the river and getting swept away. So a lot of times when I'm, you guys know I'm in recovery and I go to therapy and all that, and I'm a human. I struggle with life. on occasion, and just the daily grind. And but usually in recovery, I've learned and I've been taught these tools of not really attaching to those negative thoughts, and when because and also considering when I'm down, when I'm feeling a little down and not 100% myself, that it's like having a cold. When you have a cold or any other sickness, when you're under the weather, you have to take care of yourself, right? You might go to bed early, drink water, and take vitamins and all that. Same thing when you have a cold, when your stinking thinking is acting up, for me. So one of the things that I try not to do is listen to those thoughts when I'm in that space. And usually I say, thanks for sharing, bye. But I think it's been relentless, and I noticed whatever I've been attached to these thoughts, and I've allowed them to carry me away. And it gets a little, you start talking yourself into a depression then. And that's, let me talk for myself again. Talking myself into it and feeling like it's incredibly overwhelming. And then I'm kind of trying to bring it all back to the bigger picture, because we're all connected here. I'm not alone. It's not a coincidence that I'm telling you, I'm talking to people, I'm reaching out to people, calling people and whatnot, and talking and chatting, and everybody's struggling for the most part. It does feel like we're all having a hard time, because these are hard times. And all together, given it all of the issues we're dealing with, the pandemic, and everything that comes with that, isolation, sickness, grieving for over 700,000 families in this country, and there's so many other things that we grieve for, that I grieve for personally. I grieve for the children going through live shooters drills. I grieve for the people the workers in Burger King who are assaulted by a bunch of COVIDiots over the past couple of days. I mean, it's ridiculous. And yet again, seeing videos from whatever airline of people acting like complete assholes. I don't know, guys. I'm of the opinion, or whatever. I'm hoping that maybe we're hitting bottom with the cruelty. Have we had enough of that yet? Cruelty of not giving a shit about anybody else but ourselves in this country. Let's bring it home. I truly believe what's wrong with this country is, we're spiritually sick in this country. We talk a lot about Jesus, right? They talk about a lot about family values and how much they love Jesus. I always remember George W. Bush. What did he say? They asked him who his favorite philosopher was, and he said Jesus, of course, because what other philosophers do they know, really? You think they're not sitting around discussing philosophy. They're discussing how to line the pockets of the 1%. Jesus is a means to an end to that. And I wish this was a Christian nation, quote unquote, right? Or I wish they really were that, they adhered to family values, whatever that. What is family values? Just another buzzword for being a dick. They have taken everything that's supposed to be decent and turned it into just another excuse to be a bunch of dicks. All right? Hold on a sec. Just gotta take a sip of coffee. I don't know. That to me, I'm done. I'm over it. Probably because I'm not feeling well myself. It's like the drop in the bucket. Eventually, the last drop will tip the bucket over. It doesn't seem like much. It's like drip, drip, drip until the whole damn thing goes over. But I don't think it's just me. Everybody, so many people are feeling stressed, and then I know it just driving around, seeing people. There just doesn't seem to be much we're in this together kind of mentality. And so I don't know, we'll talk about it. And that's what we do on the show, and that we talk about here. This is unapologetic liberal talk. And I'm of the opinion, here's what I think. We've talked about this before. How we fix this. Hold on a second. My name is Tara Devlin. I don't know. I don't really need that music right now, but there it is. All right, we're back. Hold on. But the cruelty is out of control here. Let's start here. Why not, since it's on my mind? Did you see Donald Trump Jr. recently, in the past 18 hours or whatever? It came out. He spoke to a bunch of conservatives, /fascists, /traitors. That's what it's really the same thing. I know I repeat myself. Excuse me. But here's from the Baptist News Global. That's what it's called, Baptist News. Donald Trump Jr. tells young conservatives following Jesus' command to turn the other cheek, he tells them that's gotten us nothing. Well, it all depends on your definition of something, doesn't it? Where is it? Hold on. Oh, that's why. I'm trying to find the website to show you. That's not it. Just to show you whatever. Boom. There it is. Donald Trump Jr., one of the nation's foremost apologists for the win-at-all-cost politics of his father, the con man, told an evangelical Christian crowd on December 19th that they've got to spend that they've spent half a century turning the other cheek, as Jesus taught, and it hasn't worked out for them. Well, it depends. Like I said, it all depends on what your definition of gotten us nothing. What does that mean? Gotten us nothing? Yeah, according to a greed-centered ghost of the Gilded Age, the only thing that matters is greed. Clearly, that is what Donald Trump Jr. is reminding the American sheeple and the dupes who are stupid enough to vote for conservatives. He's telling them that greed is the only American value. As I've said, that's what Republicans have done, and conservatives of both stripes, of Republican and Democrat. They have turned the American experiment into a joke, into yet another exercise in the failings of the human condition. And this is why this government, the country that the founders fought a revolution to entrust to us, it's not the country, the government, because that's what they fought the revolution for, to create a government. I know that the Republicans hate government. They talk about they want to take government and shrink it and drown it in a bathtub, which is a really pleasant image when you're thinking about, because they want you to think about a baby being drowned in a bathtub. That's the image this family values Jesus loving cult wants you to think about when you're dreaming of drowning the government that the founders fought a revolution to entrust to us, risking it all, life, liberty, right? Their lives, fortune, and sacred honor. They risked to entrust that to us. And yeah, it's what the Republicans have done is they have brought it down to their level, or at least that's what they're trying to do. And they're getting there, because for the first time, the United States is on a list of backsliding democracies. But that's because of this. They have taken this e pluribus unum, the general welfare, any thought that we had for each other as a country and a community. They've turned that into weakness. If you care about your fellows, your fellow Americans, your fellow humans, you're weak. And that's what he's saying here. They just proved me right yet again that greed is the only American value. I gotta ask, are you okay with that? I know I'm not. How much longer are we gonna take it? How much longer? I mean, I think one of the things I was actually talking to Robyn Kincaid earlier, and I was asking, have we hit bottom yet? What do you think? Wait, hold on. Is something wrong with the volume? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. Okay. You guys hear me okay? Maybe I misunderstood. I saw somebody in the chat say, oh, I thought they said volume. They're saying something else. Okay. I don't know. All right. So what was I saying? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with greed being the only American value? I don't know. I think that's why we're in a list of backsliding democracies, and every American should be alarmed about that. Really, I am. It breaks my heart. Not only that, it infuriates me, but that's kind of the same thing. And really, that's what depression is. It's anger turned inward. So, I think that a lot of us, it's part of that, just the frustration of seeing this, of being of having to, I don't know, of feeling in a lot of ways very powerless, especially watching, and the frustration, I guess that's what it is, watching the Republicans do what they do, lie, cheat, steal, and rig, gerrymander, kick people off the voting rolls, all kinds of offenses. And I guess, I don't know, some people don't seem to think it's a problem. Actually, what's weird? You guys know that I'm in recovery, so one of the good things, I guess, about the pandemic is that, well, I don't know if it's good, but that you're able to go on Zoom, and I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have that ability. My God, it would be so much worse. But to go on Zoom and I'm able to, and those in recovery, we can go on Zoom and go to meetings all over the world. So I've been going to some meetings in Ireland, meetings that originate in Ireland. And, I guess I feel it's nice because it makes me think of my grandmother. And also, I want to get the hell out of here, so who knows? Whatever, we'll see. And talking to the people in Ireland, I was saying how I want to get the hell out of here if it goes full fascist, blah, blah, blah. We were, laughing. And there's another person in the room who's also from the United States, and he's not from the blue states. I think he was from Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. And he was, it was a little bit weird because he was so confused. He was like, what do you mean? Because I said something about we're a backsliding democracy, and this was the meeting after the meeting when we were just chatting casually. And he was so confused. He's like, what do you mean? As if I was somehow seeing something that wasn't there. And to me, I was like, guy, hey, listen, you gotta pay attention. What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you seeing? But maybe nothing. That's the problem. a lot of people don't want to, I get it. They don't want to know what's going on. And that's another thing that I keep hearing. I can't deal with politics. I can't, I got to turn it off. I got to tune it out. But people are doing it for mental health. And I completely understand. But honestly, that is part of, that's why they do it. Because they've done studies, especially on negative ads, and the Republicans are masters of that. They run negative ads for the byproduct of what studies have shown, that people get turned off by negativity and they don't participate. So partly why they create these negative ads is because they want to discourage people from voting. They're turning you away from the entire system, and that in itself is goddamn disgusting. Really, think about that. That in itself, as very insidious as it is, goes to show you yet again how much Republicans really don't like democracy. They never did. And it's not Republicans, it's conservatives in general. Conservatism is a fundamentally anti-democratic ideology. And as a student of history, and actually, there's so many things I want to talk about. Guys, I love history, and today I was talking to a friend of mine who it turned out was also an anti-vaxer, and that's another story, which got me insane, because this is a very smart person and who I respect, but she's also a cancer survivor, and she was telling me how she basically saying how if you're, because she was asking about the New York mandate. There's a mandate that you have to be vaccinated and boosted now in order to eat in a restaurant in New York or go to a show or whatever. And she was saying how something about Nazis and the Gestapo. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? She basically saying, they're asking for your papers, please. Papers, please. That, as if that's in any way, shape, or form related to what happened in Nazi Germany. And no, for all the Nazi, they're seeing Nazis at every vaccination site. But for all of that, they're not seeing the Nazis right in front of their face, which is the Republican assault on voting and everything else that they're up to. So anyway, I'll get back to that other story. So let's get back to Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr.'s speech at the Turning Point USA gathering in Phoenix first was reported by Relevant magazine under the headline, Biblical Scholar Donald Trump Jr. tells young conservatives that following the Bible has gotten us nothing. And just the words that he speaks there, the way that he phrases it, gotten us nothing. Us? Who's us? Gotten you? What are you supposed to get out of turning the other cheek? You're supposed to be a human. How about join the human race for a minute? And think about the spiritual laws of the universe, that greed isn't a satisfactory substitute for being a decent human being. You could put as much shit into that black hole that you call a soul, and it will never be enough. That's why Donald Trump Jr., he's really a damaged person. They all are. All these right-wingers, Donald Trump Jr. especially, you know what? I would almost feel sorry for him if he wasn't such a horrible monster. A fascist, horrible monster who doesn't have the courage to stand up to his father or stand up for himself. He's just a horrible waste of human DNA, especially somebody, who murders beautiful animals for fun. These people they're gross. They bring nothing to the table but cruelty. And that's supposed to be their birthright. Just the way that they take the lives of animals who, for no reason, they just want to see the light go out of their eyes like a serial killer. There's no difference. In fact, we know how serial killers start killing animals. They usually first victims are animals, but in fact, one of the serial killer documentaries I've watched recently, one of the doctors or I think it was a doctor who was examining the serial killers, one of the profilers or whatever, said that when they talk to serial killers, and they talk about how they hunted people and hurt people and murdered people and took trophies from people, they say if they talk to hunters, they sound the same way. Where they think about some great kill that they got. I don't get this. That's probably why I'm talking about it too, because it doesn't make any sense to me. What is so fun about murdering something? I don't understand it. I really don't. But that's what Donald Trump Jr. and the rest of the Republican Party, their message is, oh, well, you don't understand what's so fun about murder? Okay, it's fun, and we don't give a shit, and we're going to do whatever the hell we want, regardless of how it affects not just other people, but life on the planet itself. Other creatures, people, the environment. That's it. Selfishness and greed are the only value. And really, same thing, right? So, where is it? Biblical scholar Donald Trump tells young conservatives following the Bible has gotten us nothing. And then it was reported by Paul Wenner of The Atlantic under the headline, The Gospel of Donald Trump, which was a great article, and I want to read that too. While none of the Trump family has strong ties to any church that's demonstrated any pattern of church attendance, Trump Jr. acknowledged in his otherwise incendiary speech that he knew he would ruffle some feathers. And isn't that the point, right? For Republicans, they want to ruffle feathers. They want to drink your tears. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them getting away with being dicks, without being challenged. It's all over the regular media, the corporate media. They talk about it all the time. They'll say, well, they're motivated by owning the libs or drinking liberal tears, and which should be followed up with, that means they're not patriots, they hate America, and they're sick. How hard is that? That's sick. If your whole philosophy, your policy is designed to trigger somebody, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's designed so you're going to make your fellow Americans cry. You know who's crying? The people who while the rest of the world has universal health care, the American people are dying because they're cutting their friggin' diabetes medicine in half. Oh, Donald Trump Jr. is not offended by that in any way, shape, or form. That's progress. That's the American dream for somebody. For them, the American dream is being able to ride you mercilessly to the bank without pesky government telling them to play nice with the plebs. That's it in a nutshell. That's it. That's why they hate government. And that's why they want to corrupt government and turn it into an appendage of their affairs. Because it's so much easier to steal that way. Democracy is not supposed to be. It's not supposed to operate to make a few people very rich without apology or concern about anybody else. And I gotta ask, how much longer? How much longer? How much longer are we gonna take it? Well, where is it? Donald Trump Jr. acknowledged in his otherwise incendiary speech that he knew would ruffle feathers by by speaking ill of the teachings of Jesus. Exactly how he believes conservative Republicans have turned the other cheek in America's culture wars was not clear. Of course, they haven't, but they always position themselves as the victims. That's another part of the conservative ideology, professional victimitis. Look at any fascist movement. They're always being picked on. Everybody's picking on them. Like the Polish were picking on the Nazis. That's why the Nazis had to invade. Right? It's all about being mean to the poor fascists. God help us. I don't know, guys. Before I continue with this, wait, hold on. I want to say yesterday, for my birthday, the only good thing that happened, well, whatever, besides that I woke up above ground, was that you guys, Mark, our millennial correspondent, reached out and you guys made some videos, some happy birthday videos for me. And I don't even know what to say. I was literally bawling in tears watching them, crying, and I can't believe it. I'm so touched, and I honestly, I don't even know what to say. I have no words, which is rare. But Mark C and Shadow Star Ace in the chat, and of course Mark, our millennial correspondent. It was so great to see you guys and to see your faces and to see you in action, and Kaya and little Comet in the video. It was really, honestly, you made my year with that. Thank you. And I'm gonna start crying again, so I better stop. But Mark said and there were some other videos that he wasn't able to send right away, but he's gonna cut it together. He said, so I'll post it when he's done. But that was just great. Thank you. And thank you, Mark. I see Mark in the chat. It was so nice to see you, Mark, and see your face. And it was, wow. I just am blown away. And I watched them again this morning and it cried all over again. So, and it made me feel like, that's why we're in this together. You know, that's why we're doing the shows, and we are making a difference, and it does make a difference. If it's making a difference for us right here, let me speak for myself again. It makes a difference to me because God, I don't know what I'd do without you. Really, this is not easy. It's not easy. Living here in the United States of serfs and lords, the frustration, it feels like one step forward, two steps back. Some days, some nights. You have a good face for radio, Mark. No, you have a good face. You got a good face. Don't sell yourself short there, kid. That's amazing. Yeah. But all right. I just want to say thank you again. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And that's what keeps us going, too. Yes, thank you, Steve. Steve says happy birthday. Thank you. And see you. I see you, River. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Terry and Jim and Steve and Mark. And who else is here? Peter, of course. Paradu and Rognez. Is that Rogs? RS, nice to see you. Terry. All right, guys. Let's get back to this, because I guess also the subject of tonight, what I wanted to talk about, because before I do the show, usually kind of preparing all the time, basically you prepare by keeping informed, and also seeing, you have to keep up with what's going on during the day too. But today, there were a lot of stories, it seemed to me, maybe they were just coming up for me, how people are acting horribly. But what do we expect when we've lived through the past 4 years? Of course, that was just a symptom of the sickness that was already there. If this was if we weren't so divided and so sick in this country, we wouldn't have a Trump. There would be no way. That's like, think if, for example, if he decided to run for office in New Zealand, it would never happen. He wouldn't get out of the gate. You can only have a so-called leader like him if you're sick. Who votes for that, right? Unless somebody has a gun to your head, why would you pull the lever for a con man? Give a con man keys to the goddamn kingdom. You gave him keys to the treasury, and he's put his lamprey mouth around the treasury, and he ain't letting go. They're still, I mean, all over the globe too. What was that? I just saw this actually. With Trump is actually being, where is it? Trump, he's getting paid by England, right? Trump Golf. Oh yes, that's it. He sued the PGA, but there was something else. He was also getting money from other governments for his shitty golf courses. Everywhere, it's just a scam. You know, this is what he does. He understands. He's a con man. He knows how to, I guess, grift money out of the government. Probably because governments in general are. Who's in charge here? You know, you're dealing with people who are just bureaucrats. Okay, Trump wants some tax giveaway that he probably helped write into law. You know, who's going to stop him? But that's the way it is. He's just a con man. He's a con man. And anyone who votes for the con man is part of the problem. They really are. I don't know. Don't you think? Hold on a sec. Oh yeah, here, let's get back to the gospel according to Donald Trump Jr. So, where is it? Sorry guys. It's all right. That's my New Year's resolution, is to not beat myself up when I can't find an article online. I mean, it's got to be part of the charm of the show. I don't know what happens. Let me show you my whole screen. No, I can't. Like right here. This is what I'm looking at. So there's a lot of windows open. So it's hard. All right. Let's get back to work. I'll start here. Here, this is the article I wanted to read. The Gospel According to Donald Trump Jr. Oh my God. And let's just remind everybody. I mean, this guy he's sick. In fact, remember a couple of months ago we were playing him on his cameo appearances? He started to sell birthday shout outs and whatnot on Cameo. And people were kind of speculating maybe he's doing it for drugs. Doesn't make, hey, I'm not criticizing him. He's sick. He's got a disease. He hates himself. He needs to go to rehab, but he doesn't have the courage. He's too much of a weakling to ask for help. He doesn't understand that asking for help is a sign of strength. Right? That's why he'll stay sick forever, because he also knows that, and he'll probably die of the disease somehow, or some symptom of it. But yeah, he's vile. And I love this article, so let me read it, by Peter Wehner, Wehner, from The Atlantic. And it's called The Gospel of Donald Trump Jr. Just this first paragraph says it all. Donald Trump Jr. is both intensely unappealing and uninteresting. Nailed it. He combines in his person, corruption, ineptitude, and banality. This guy is nailing it. Boom, boom. He's hitting it. Each sentence is, he sums him up. He is perpetually aggrieved, obsessed with trolling the left, a crude, one-dimensional figure who's done a remarkably good job of keeping from public view any redeeming qualities he might have. That's music, really. It's the lyrics to a song right there. There's a case to be made that he's worth ignoring, except for this. Don Jr. has been his father's chief emissary to the MAGA world. He's one of the most popular figures in the Republican Party, which goes to show you how doomed we are. And he's influential with Republicans in positions of power. He's also attuned to what appeals to the base of the GOP. So from time to time, it's worth paying attention to what he has to say. Trump spoke at a Turning Point USA gathering on December 19th. He displayed seething, nearly pathological resentments. Playground insults like he led the crowd in a "Let's Go Brandon" chant. Tough guy / average Joe shtick. And a pulsating sense of aggrieved victimhood and persecution, all coming from the elitist, extravagantly rich, allegedly, son of a former president, of a so-called president who received fewer votes. But, okay. But there was one short section of Trump's speech that I thought particularly revealing. Relatively early in the speech, he said, "If we get together, they cannot cancel us all, okay? They won't. And this will be contrary to a lot of beliefs because this is where he goes toe-to-toe with Jesus. And this will be contrary to a lot of beliefs. I'd love not to have to participate in cancel culture. I'd love that it didn't exist, but as long as it does, folks, we had better be playing the same game, okay? We better play T-ball. Oh, no, we've been playing T-ball for like half a century. When they've been playing hardball and cheating? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, no, they're not. The lies. It never stops. Accuse your enemy of the very thing for which you are guilty. Another page of right from the Nazi playbook. It's not a coincidence. If it quacks like a Nazi and goose steps like a Nazi, it's a Nazi. It lies like a Nazi, it's a Nazi. These are Nazis, guys. And every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. Give them a minute. They're working on it. You know? For real. Oh, we don't have death camps? Maybe not yet. I would say 700,000 dead. That's a lot of dead. I don't know. That's not. I mean, what do you say? There's. I don't know. When people who love to be lied to, this is another. Okay, but there's one short section of Trump's speech that I thought was particularly revealing. Relatively early in the speech, oh yeah, I read that already. We've been playing T-ball for like half a century while they're playing hardball and cheating, right? Yeah, right? No, bitch. Wrong. We've turned the other cheek, and I understand, sort of, the biblical reference. The biblical reference? You don't understand shit, asshole. You've never read the Bible. You never did. Neither did your con man daddy or your bitch sister or your bitch stupid brother. Pardon my French. I understand the mentality. You're talking about Jesus's teachings. You effing filthy, greed-centered sociopath. I told you they hate Jesus. If Jesus came back again, they would crucify him again. Because Jesus was crucified by the conservatives. He wasn't crucified by the progressives. He was a progressive. That's what it meant. I have not come here. What do you say? The Old Testament says, eye for an eye. What do I say? I say turn the other cheek. That's progressive, you dumb. Oh no. Well, they've distilled the teachings of Jesus down to things that have nothing to do with spirituality. They're nothing but cruelty. They took the ancient socialist hippie and they turned him into a version of themselves, of their cruel, filthy, greed-centered selves. And now they're taking the teachings of the so-called savior they pretend to worship, and they're nullifying that too. Turn the other cheek? Oh, I know the reference, guys. But what have we gotten? What does that get us? Yeah, because what is inner peace? It's nothing, right? And what is that when you can, I don't know, bang a fucking porn star, right? Well, I mean, well, you got to pay her off, but hey, it's worth it. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, Jesus will love it. These people are vile. They're all vile, and they're hypocrites. They're the hypocrites that Jesus warned us about. And there they are. The ones who said that they were, well, that's what Jesus said, that they were the ones who would proclaim themselves the holiest of holy, while doing everything they can. The evil. Just evil. And, which brings me, I don't know. Earlier today, I was perusing the internet. No wonder I'm depressed. And I saw a video of Alex Jones going on about how he's upset because Donald Trump Donald Trump said that, the vaccine isn't killing people. And that really upset him, apparently, because he wants to kill more people, clearly. And he said that, but in the rant, he was going on about how Hillary Clinton is evil, and Dr. Fauci is evil, and Barack Obama is evil. He was listing off a whole bunch of Democrats, prominent Democrats, and I don't know what Dr. Fauci is, but reminding everybody, who all the idiots who listen to him, that they're evil. And I was like, evil? What the fuck? What is evil? What's evil about expanding healthcare? Now I know, you know what's evil? Greed, the greed of the insurance racket. But where I'm sitting, I see that everything that they want is what's evil. You know, when you reduce your, whether you are going to get healthcare or live or die, down to if you can afford it. That's evil. And Dr. Fauci's evil for what? Telling people to wear masks or get vaccinated, and for giving people advice, working for in infectious disease for generations, really. While these assholes are coming up with cons, how to separate dupes from their money, Dr. Fauci was working, coming up with drugs for, what did he do? You know, working on the AIDS crisis. Working on drugs that are keeping people alive now. I don't know. That's evil, though. That's evil, everybody. I'm baffled. Now, because I'm baffled how do you have a functioning democratic republic with half the population stupid, right? Dumb and evil. And I'm talking about Republicans. Dumb, stupid, evil, and spreading it. They just got to spread that. Let me spread the good news about what? What kind of Jesus do they worship? Their Jesus, the only holy obligation is, I guess, gay bashing. That's it. Forget, well, everything. What is Jesus' teachings? The famous, well, of course, the Beatitudes, right? I had to memorize the Beatitudes more than Donald Trump Jr. And also, having been raised Catholic, I went through religious instruction and all that. I've read the Bible. I'm sure Donald effing Trump Jr. hasn't. What are the Beatitudes? Blessed are the poor. Where are we? It's so sickening. These fuckers. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Liberal tears. Blessed are those who mourn. Fuck you. Drinking your tears now. That's the Republican way, right? Blessed are those who mourn. Why should we give a shit? Well, about people who are killed, maybe going to the movies or going to school. What about toddlers? We shouldn't give a shit. Blessed are those who mourn. I'm thinking about the parents mourning their children, that they did nothing but send them to school in an American fucking city. That was their mistake. Blessed are those who mourn, so we will drink your tears, right, Republicans? How much longer, guys? I'm asking. And this is why we talk about this, because I really hope we get to the point where everybody's as sick as I am about these efforts. And for one thing, I have to say, a lot of, I don't know, in a lot of ways, or maybe I'm delusional, I think that I am a little bit, I don't know, ahead of our time. Not that I'm so great. I think that what we're talking about here, I mean, we're the progressives, so of course we're ahead of our time, you know? What we're talking about is nothing, it's not out of the ordinary, and it's nothing outrageous or radical. We are advocating for policies that unify the people, unify the country, give let's not use the word give, lay the infrastructure of freedom. That's what we're talking about. That's what public schools are. That's what public roads. That's what a public healthcare system would be. Part of the infrastructure of freedom, and that's how it has to be framed. So we're advocating for those policies, and no matter what, guess what? We're not talking about things that haven't been done in the country either. For a very short period of time, when the American middle class was actually cultivated and created from the ground up, these policies were in place. The policies of high marginal tax rates on the rich, pro-union policies, and also pro-union, just the sentiment of the elected officials. With FDR, he was a big proponent of unions. That's why it's good to hear Biden talking about unions and being such a supposedly, we'll see, a strong advocate, because we know what happened with Barack Obama. Now, Republicans say he's evil. For what? Yeah, I guess maybe he's black or something? Is that what makes him evil? I don't know. He's evil for expanding health care to people? What's evil? That's evil. But they're not evil, though, for doing nothing but making this country, the income disparity and upward immobility, worse. That's not evil, though, right? Evil. It's incredible to me. And when you do that, what do you think Alex Jones is doing? He's setting up a stochastic terrorist. That's what they're doing. When you call elected officials evil, I call Donald Trump evil, that's for sure, and the Republican Party, because they are. Because they're liars. Because their handling of the coronavirus pandemic, initially especially, helped kill 700,000 Americans and counting. They helped divide this country. That's evil. It's evil to go to Bob Woodward and say, "Oh, this is a doozy. This one, you don't stand a chance." That's what he said to Bob Woodward, and then went to the American people and said, "It's nothing but a flu." That's evil, you son of a bitch. And that's why, accuse your enemy of the very thing of which you are guilty. And what do the Democrats do? That's why the Democrats have to get not only smarter, but they have to get unapologetically pissed and start taking back the mantle of patriotism. Call these effers out for what they are. It was good to see when AOC and Raskin, right? They were live streaming or live adding live commentary to Mark Meadows when he was it Mark Meadows? No, not Mark Meadows is the chief of staff. Who's the other one? Oh, Kevin McCarthy. I always get those two mixed up. They are the same generic white man. That's what they look like. But Kevin McCarthy, in his professional victim mode, that's what they do, railing against what? Things that the American people want, love, and need. And AOC and Raskin were adding commentary in real time, unapologetically calling them, what does she call them? Agent Smiths and things like that. You got to mock them and shame them and well, they really are shaming themselves, right? It's not like they're making it difficult. And oh my God. Pookie's Mama Irene, thank you so much for your super chat. Happy birthday, Tara. I really appreciate it. It's so cute and sweet. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Another great show, Tara. Thank you. I love your confidence in me. And thank you, Matt, for your super chat. And thank you because of you and all your super chatter friends and all the patrons, we'll keep the show going and growing. All right. What are you going to do? What's the alternative? Maybe one day. We'll, oh shit, I forgot to press. Oh, look at this. Emmett Brickowski on ROKFIN. ROKFIN is really filled with a lot of bleach drinkers, it seems. And Emmett Brickowski on ROKFIN writes, if I was as stupid as you, I would shave my ass and walk backwards? Oh, wait, hold on, Emmett. Let's see. There you go. Another scintillating commentary from the American right-wing fascist traitor assholes who, I mean, I wish they would drink bleach. Right? But, okay, if I was as stupid as you, well, what? Well, for what? Did we get something wrong? What's stupid? Did I say something wrong? If that's the case, what's wrong? Point it out. I'll wait. No, I won't wait, but that's who they are, you see? They don't have anything to offer. If I was as stupid as you, let's go, Brendan. That's all they can do. Let's go, Brendan. Why don't you talk? I mean, I would shave my ass and walk backwards. I mean, first of all, we know that's not your joke. You copied and pasted it from somewhere. And the most, I guess that's the best, that's the pinnacle of life for these people. They go on the internet and that's the things, that's what they contribute. Nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing. I don't even know what to. So if I was that stupid as you. So tell me, what's stupid? What did we say wrong? Did Donald Trump Jr. not say that turn the other cheek isn't getting them anywhere? Isn't getting them anything, I should say. Not anywhere. Anything. Because they're all about things that they shove into that whatever excuse for a soul. And that's really it. They are very sick and they hate. They just hate. They hate humanity. They're sociopaths. And they make the world a worse place. And, you know, if you're a normal functioning or trying to be a functioning democratic republic, you don't elect sociopaths who suck, who think that greed is good. That's it. You don't elect those people. You don't make them your leaders. And anybody who votes for people like that says everything about them. They're vile. There's many things it could be. Okay, just give me 10 minutes with any one of them, and I'll be able, if they're honest, which is doubtful, because they're cowards, and they would never have the courage to look at themselves, to assess what's working, what's not working. They'll just walk around hateful, and they'll inflict their manias on others. And yeah, that's what that will substitute for them. That's what that substitutes therapy. See, other people, normal people, adults, who are capable of functioning in a democratic society, people who are adulting. You know, they grew up. They didn't just advance in age. They matured. And not that everybody's perfect, but the Republicans, never maturing, never, ever learning anything, never taking in new information, never thinking about anybody else but yourself, especially in the moment. I mean, if you can shove more money or shit in that empty pit that you call a soul, then that's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter who you step on, who doesn't, doesn't benefit, who, it doesn't matter. Who. Because the only thing that matters is more for people who are so sick that there's never enough for them. So they just hoard another zero on the bank account, and they think that makes them a human, when it doesn't. It actually proves how inhumane and sick they are. Really? What did I say that's wrong? Anybody? I'm just waiting, because I'm all about learning, and if something is wrong, we don't want to pass on misinformation, so tell us. Anyway, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. It's a lost cause. They're dumb. If I'm a stupid like you. It's fascinating to me. Stupid like you? Give me an example. But that's all they got. But it proves my point yet again, you see. That's who they are. They're They're children. But children grow up. They've turned, that's what it is. It's so embarrassing. It really is. And I think about, because being a student of history and knowing, all about the rise of the Third Reich and fall, thankfully. There's so many similarities. It's not even funny. Ugh. Yuck. Yuckity yuck. Well, what do you expect, right? Just like, what did Trump say? Losers and suckers, right? Why would you turn the other cheek? Why would you be a decent person? Because you know what is, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. That's what that is, Donald Trump Jr., you dumbass. Of course they don't know. They don't, spirituality. I mean, this thing about humans, as we all are human. I mean, we are spiritual beings in human experience, right? Which is how it goes in the rooms. And it's true. Human beings are, for whatever reason, we have that spiritual nature in us, that we seek the divine. It's been described as, and I have an opinion on that, and I think, and here it is, I'll tell you. That's why we're here, right? We're talking for real. My opinion is that we are spiritual beings in a human experience, and the reason is, it's because we understand somewhere, our higher selves understand that we're all connected. And that's it. That's spirituality. That's what I consider, that's my spirituality. That's why that's why I study Buddhism, because I do believe that. I do believe that, now, I don't believe there's a giant man on a cloud making a list of who's naughty and who's nice. I think that's really kind of ridiculous and says everything about the people who created that deity. Why they had to create it as a man, as a giant human. Who, give me a break. Stupid. Especially that giant human has all the mysteries of the universe, knows everything, counts every hair on your head, and all he cares about is whether you masturbate or go to the bathroom that they think your pee-pee should be in. It's ridiculous. That's spirituality to them. I don't know. Being a gay basher, they think that's spiritual. Attacking children who happen to be trans instead of embracing them. You know, children who are trans, they need to be embraced and nurtured and loved and assured. Right? How fucking hard is that, you monsters, you monster Republicans? You know, make a world worthy of humanity. You know? Don't be a dick. How's that? That's all it is. That's all being woke is about. That's why they hate it. Woke. I saw something on Twitter. One of these Republican fuckers was like, wokeism. The dangers of wokeism. And I explained to them, not that they care, that what are you talking? Wokeism is just not being a dick. That's all. Try. Just take one iota of energy, of all the energy you expend during the day, and channel that into not being a dick to somebody. Right? If somebody says, I want to be called whatever, you know, by this name, you say, oh, great. That's it. Now, welcome to being woke. It's not that hard. But that's it. That's Republicans. It is. It must be hard because they can't not be dicks. Why are they dicks? Why? What are they getting out of it? It's because clearly they hate themselves. If you want to get, now we're psychoanalyzing them, which I can. I do psychoanalyze them a lot. Like Jane Goodall studied the apes. I study Trumpanzees and Republicans. And they need help. They really do. They are effed up and they're hateful. They hate the world. They hate America. That's for sure. They hate everybody in it, just about. The very definition of patriotism is, care and concern for your fellow countrymen. So basically, they're not patriots in any sense of the word. That's for sure. But that's it. That's all being woke is. No, and that's why they rail against it. And they also rail against everything that we need to have a functioning democratic republic. And that includes public schools. That includes living wages and high marginal tax rates on the rich. So a intergenerational aristocracy does not develop. And that's the thing. When you hear pundits on corporate media and whatnot talking about raising taxes or taxes in general, and they talk about high marginal tax. Oh, the Democrats want to roll back Trump's tax cuts and all this shit back to whatever, some paltry percent. You'll never hear the corporate media connect the dots and inform the American sheeple that high marginal tax rates on the wealthy they're purposeful to prevent the development of an aristocracy, an intergenerational aristocracy. What the fuck is so hard about that? Corporate bastards. What's so hard about that? You know what? They don't want to do that. They don't want to put it together, or they might know that, but the American people don't need to know that shit. We want the American people dumb enough to vote for their own demise, to cheer their own demise. To when Twitler gets up there and says that he did away with the death tax, and the assholes all clap. They all applaud like a bunch of morons applauding for Trump University degrees. Idiots. a tax that none of them will ever pay. Ever. Because they don't make enough money. No, I mean, a handful of people pay it. And you're talking about handful. Not a lot. We could probably memorize their names. Ridiculous. And it's because, aristocracy and democracy don't coexist. Why don't the American people hear this constantly, hear this on a loop? No, they don't, because the corporate media, the corporate media benefits. They may not like Trump, A lot of the corporate media don't like that asshole because he's an agent of chaos. And he's a horrible person, of course, but they won't, they like his policies. They like the tax giveaways and the fact that the American people can't save $400 effing dollars. And that 80% live check to check. That's a disgrace. That's an effing disgrace. That's embarrassing to me. And everybody should be embarrassed. In every corporate media show, that should be on the crawl. But it's not. That's why, during the Trump debacle years, the American people, the middle class, went below 50% of the population. And we talk about it here all the time. We bring it up. We talked about it when the article came out. And we continue to bring it up. But I never hear that. I never, ever hear that on corporate media. And it pisses me off. Because, what is corporate media supposed to be doing? In a functioning democracy, corporate media would be informing the people. Informing the people about what, first of all, how we cultivate a democracy. And when the pillars of democracy are under assault, that we need to ensure that those assaults stop. Right? So when they assault schools and they attack unions and they attack the American people for example, now, we know all during the pandemic and after they're saying how, the essential workers, hooray, right? But don't pay them living wages. They're lazy bastards who don't want to work, right? Well, what is it? They pay people living wages. Maybe they'll go to work. But who wants to work for $7.50 an hour and possibly lose your life? I don't know. And how about women or parents in general? The American people, we don't have daycare, we don't have daycare, we don't have health care. They want you to, they just want you to work and die and not complain. That don't pester your betters. That's it. They're putting together the system that the founders rebelled against. That's it. They want you to, they want you nice and desperate and malleable. And so you don't pester your betters. And that's why they that's why they're destroying public education. They hate, and the assaults on teachers in this country is appalling. But we should also be alarmed. All right? Who wants to be a teacher? You got to be, and then you got to be assaulted and attacked constantly by these assholes, parents. And my cousin's a teacher. I have actually two of my cousins are teachers. And it breaks my heart. My cousin says She said, if I could do it all over again, I would not be a teacher. Even though, from the time she was a little girl, that's what she wanted to do. She used to, when she was little, she used to play school and wanted to play to be the teacher, and she used to pretend that she was setting up a class as a little girl. And this is all she ever wanted to do. And that breaks my heart. Because that's what the kind of people you want to teach. It should be valued and treasured. And people should be paid living wages and, shouldn't be attacked and under assault constantly, especially the teachers' union, constantly under assault. Because what do Republicans hate? They hate the community, of course. I mean, everywhere. They hate unions. So, of course, they're going to attack the teachers' union, because the teachers' union is one of the, in my opinion, well, first of all, public education, it's a pillar of democracy. So, teachers' unions, I've even heard some of people who I would consider, or they consider themselves to be liberal, knocking the teachers' union. I mean, this is what happens when you repeat something constantly over and over. Oh, that they protect bad teachers, as if that's a fucking thing. If there's so many bad teachers, protecting bad teachers, as if that's the reason you would want to destroy the entire union, because some teachers are bad. I mean, I fucking can't stand it. I just can't stand the constant, it's the same shit, they constantly use the same old canards, and people fall for it all the time. When the American people, we need education. This country's dumb. We are the second least informed people on the planet. I wonder if that's changed, actually. I think it used to be we were the second. It was the Italians were the first. Isn't that interesting? But you know why? Because they also have that right-wing media. They have, let's see, least informed people. I don't know. We'll see what comes up. Yeah. Well, here again. Oh my God. We're the least informed. Oh, it just says study U.S. adults who rely on social media for news are less informed and exposed to conspiracies, of course. Well, we know that watching Fox News makes viewers less informed than people who watch no news at all. The least informed people are also the loudest. Here's a study from 2019. Look at that. New research shows that the most outspoken people often know the least but think they know the most. Using Pew Research, they suffer from an illusion of knowledge. They think they know. Well, that actually reminds me. Let me lower this a little, because it doesn't matter. It reminds me, I was speaking to a friend of mine, I told you guys earlier today. I was talking to my friend who I really love, and she's amazing. She is a cancer survivor and just a great person in general. I love her. And I was shocked, appalled, dismayed, and disappointed that she's also an anti-vaxxer. Which distressed me. And we started having, came up. She started, because she was talking about something about the Gestapo in New York checking your vaccination, as if it's your birthright to go to a Broadway show unvaccinated. You know what I mean? And possibly endanger others. I don't know. It's crazy. And she was going on about the vaccine, and it's really distressing. And I'm like, where the fuck are you getting this shit? I'm doing my research. Where? So we have people who are educated. They go to undergrad, they go to grad, they go to get their doctorate. They need to publish papers. They need to do research that gets published and peer reviewed. And you went on fucking Facebook. So who am I gonna believe? Now, will I believe the rest of the human race, the 4 billion other humans that have taken the vaccine without incident, or you, who went on Facebook? And then I also, we know the stories we've been hearing, the anecdotal evidence. I know for a fact nobody's lying to you. This is what I said to her. I said, I work in television. I work in news. I've worked in live news and things for TV stations. And God, nobody's making shit up. Nobody is, we don't have the energy. People don't have the energy to do it. People are getting through the day. They're somebody who's a scientist or coming up with these vaccines or whatever. They're going to their job. They're going to work. They're going home. They have lives. Nobody's coming up with a nefarious plot. To what? And to what end? That's the other thing. In fact, I didn't ask her. Now that I'm thinking, but I don't really want to get into it with her anymore. But I was like, what? I'm thinking now, what? To what end? Who cares? We're going to track you? Who cares? Nobody wants to track you. No, who wants to put you in a camp? What? Unvaccinated? This is a big ruse. We wanted to know who wouldn't take a vaccine and then put them into a camp? Unreal. That's why it's crazy making. Everybody's PTSD. Because this is what we got to put up with. And it's heartbreaking. Let me see. Jacinda Ahern, right? From, how do you pronounce it? I always have a hard time with her name. Jacinda Ahern. Oh, no. Ardern. That's it. Jacinda Ardern. From, who is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She was asked why New Zealanders aren't at each other's throats with this bullshit, why they're not storming Burger King and screaming at Burger King employees' faces about tyranny. And she said, because we don't have the Rupert Murdoch media here. We don't have this lying fascist right-wing media. And that's it. And guys, you know it. I know it. That it's the media. This is why we're doing what we're doing. Oh shit! What happened? Now we have a troll. Looks like a Russian troll. Haiku. Isn't that funny how right wingers need so much help from Russian trolls? It's amazing. Well, not amazing. They're traitors. And they're not even hiding it anymore. Look at how proud Tucker Carlson is that he's getting covered. He's getting covered on in the right wing. I mean, in the Russian press, they're giving him a lot of praise for being a mouthpiece for autocracy. This piece of shit that he is. And excuse me, but what else is he, really? Mamma mia. Mamma mia, mamma mia. Where am I? Let me see. Turn the other cheek. What? Hey, guys. I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, but turn the other cheek. It's gotten us... What has it gotten us? We haven't had any porn stars to bang. We've had no assholes to ride to the bank. There's no cocaine from it. Then nobody brought any cocaine or ketamine or anything. Or no, I couldn't kill it. I couldn't watch the light go out of its eyes. God, I hate them. Jesus Christ. What have we gotten from it? What have we gotten? Hasn't getting us anywhere. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. No, that's not what he said. I'm sorry. It's gotten us anything. Because there is a difference there. It's all about things. Oh, it's all about the things that Jesus said would never substitute for your relationship with him, right? Didn't he say that? Leave all your possessions to the poor, or give them to the poor, and follow me. How can we get to the kingdom of heaven? And these are the pricks that never, ever shut the F up about how much they love Jesus, right? Oh, we love Jesus. We love the little babies until they're born. We love Jesus until we have to hear his teaching, so we have to bastardize them and turn them into yet another excuse to not give a shit about anybody. I don't know how they did that. And it's fascinating. They continue to get away with it. Oh my God. While none of the Trump family... Oh wait, where is it? The Turning Points USA website explains, we play offense with a sense of urgency to win America's culture wars. Nonprofit organization was founded by Charlie Kirk. This is where Donald Trump Jr. told them not to give a shit about Jesus. Oh, and then it was... what was this? Let me see. Junior Jesus. Yeah, Snopes got a hold of it. Because it said, did Donald Trump Jr. tell conservatives that the Bible has gotten us nothing? And then they gave it a mixture. That's their rating. Because, well, he didn't say that all of Jesus's teachings were shit. So, it's a mixture. Oh my God. It's just, how much longer, guys? I'm asking for myself, really. Because I have to wonder, how much longer can I take it? How much longer? Maybe I'm asking you. I'm like, are we going to take this much longer? Because I'm trying to mentally prepare myself. How much longer? Oh, what else did Jesus say? Blessed are those who mourn, right? They will be comforted. Ha ha. Blessed are the meek, because they will inherit the earth. Yeah, right. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Well, that certainly isn't, or aren't the Republicans. Blessed are the merciful. Oh, no. Does this sound like any Republicans, you know? Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. Please. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Oh, well, they must be woke. They're too woke. Stop being woke. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Well. Doesn't sound like any Republican I ever met. And, yeah, how much longer are we going to take it, really? I am so effing tired of them dealing with the bad behavior that everybody's saying, oh, well, people are acting like assholes and restaurants are opening, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, we'll talk about what's going on with the virus just briefly. The CDC altered its recommendations for people who have been exposed to the virus. They cut it down from 10 days in isolation to 5 days. But that has nothing to do with health, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, many unions are coming out and saying, the flight attendants union, for example, are saying that they're very concerned because this is not a policy that has anything to do with health. It has to do with people are tired. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think that's the point we're getting to right now, or maybe we're already there, where people are just, they want it over with. It's like, Dad, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And, babies can't handle it. It's too much. Too much is required. And the American people just don't have it. They're done. They never had it. They've been lied to. They've been manipulated. A lot of them are dumb and they want to be lied to. But just because you want it to go away doesn't mean it's gone. It's gone away. And now, of course, I'm thinking of my friend because she's like, and then she was saying that they made it in the lab. Okay. And I'm like, what the? They made it in a lab. And I was like, why? Who cares? First of all, if that happened, who fucking cares? What does it matter if it was made in a lab? Wow. It's incidental. And who cares? Okay. It's just beyond belief. And then I was like, but this is your patriotic duty. She's like, what are you talking about? You keep saying it's our patriotic. I was like, well, because the country's in a crisis and we're not asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. Just take a shot that 4 billion people have already taken without incident. It's not that much. Ugh, I don't know. It's traumatizing though, right? It really is. But it's never going to end because they have ensured that the virus has plenty of places to incubate and to morph into the next deadly variant. But I don't know. It's sickening. Right? Oh, Anthony, thank you for your super chat. And what's going on? What's going on in the chat? Right. Robin M says, if they made it in the lab, why didn't 45 investigate it when it happened? Exactly. Well, because it's all bullshit. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of idiots believing it. And, when I hear that COVID is raging, like, for example, where is it? I think it's the most in Tennessee. COVID states. Now, the top 5 states that are suffering the most right now are Tennessee, Florida. I'm trying to think of the others. They're all red states. But the ones where the cases are rising, I should say. Where is it? COVID state by ranking, maybe? Yeah. Let's see. States ranked. No, it's not in order. Thanks. I don't know. I know the number 1 was Tennessee. But oh well. I just feel bad for the frontline workers. That's my concern. The doctors and nurses in the hospital who have to deal with them, that are exhausted, that put themselves at risk all the time. And, you know, these idiots don't seem to give a shit. All right. Right? How much longer? Anybody know how much longer we're going to take it? Can anybody? Does anybody remember laughter? You know where that's from. All right. Here. I don't know if you saw this today. And speaking of being living with a bunch of assholes, look at this lady. Yet another story about somebody losing their shit on an airplane and acting like an asshole, abusing other people.
This woman now faces a federal assault charge after allegedly hitting and spitting on another passenger on a flight last Thursday.
The news story was today.
The Delta flight was headed to Atlanta from Tampa, and reports say 51-year-old Patricia Cornwall was upset by a beverage cart blocking her way to the bathroom and then punched an 80-year-old man in the head after exchanging words with him. She made her first court appearance yesterday and faces up to 1 year in prison.
Oh, she'll get off with a warning. What kind of shit is this? She slaps this 80-something-year-old guy across the face because a cart's in her way? Where's she getting this shit from? I mean, of course, there are assholes everywhere. There are mentally ill people. There are people who don't know how to behave. But it does seem kind of epidemic lately. And I do believe that it's because of, we live in this effed up country and people are at each other's throats. Half the country is drinking the tears of the other half while the other half is trying to get these fuckers health care. You know? I don't know. It's amazing. And trust me, though, we know. They're not going to come out looking like a bed of roses. History will revile them even more than we do now. Trust me. They're not going to look, they're not going to come out. Future historians are not going to look back and say, Trump was a great president. They're not going to say, that was great. He did so many great things. I love these Republicans. They keep everything they talk about Trump. Trump, you did so many great things. Everything, like when they were trying to get him to stop, to talk his traitorous mob, talk them into going home. On January 6th, they were like, you've done so many great things. All of them are being negated or whatever. Shut the fuck up. What great thing you've done? What the fuck did you do, Trump? Except kill 700,000 people. What did you do? And rob them. You couldn't just kill them, right? You had to fucking rob them too, right? Scum. What did you do? Oh, well, according to Republicans, Trump is the greatest president that ever effing lived. If you can believe it. Well, remember last year? This is last Christmas. I hate to do this to you, but
Eric and I were talking about what's going on with impeachment and the FISA and all that. But will you guys be able to just forget about all of it and really enjoy the fact that you really are part of the first family? You are the first family. You've done wonderful things for this country. We now don't have the political correctness that we used to. People are actually saying Merry Christmas.
You can say Merry Christmas.
Can you believe this? I'm sorry, I stopped it at the best part.
Have the political correctness that we used to. People are actually saying Merry Christmas.
You can say Merry Christmas again.
Yes,
Isn't that so nice, Janine?
I love it. I love Christmas trees. I love Santa over here. How do you feel that your father has done all of that, Eric?
It's incredible. It is nice to say Merry Christmas again, and it is a beautiful thing to celebrate all the holidays with beautiful little kids like this. This is what America is all about, and this is what the American dream's all about. And, you know, this is why we have an incredible country, because we can sit there with the Santa Claus and with beautiful trees and eat ice cream and open presents and love one another and, you know, and see little ones grow. And it's the best of this nation. And I'm proud of him for reinvigorating so much of it.
What? I didn't mean to yell in your ear. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Wait a minute. We weren't saying Merry Christmas? We weren't allowed to put up Christmas trees? Remember? What world do these effers live in? I don't know how they handle it. Christians are only 78% of the population. How do they live being so oppressed? And I never saw, it was so weird. For 8 years Obama was in office, there was no Christmas anywhere. It was horrible. There's no Christmas lights. We didn't say Merry Christmas. I mean, I said Happy Saturnalia. Well, I said Io Saturnalia, but thanks to your father. And he's not the only one. This is not something that's going away. Trump himself, he took credit, right? Wait. Christmas. Yeah, he took credit for winning the totally made up war on Christmas. Now, I gotta ask again. How much longer? Huh? When I watch that clip, that's what I think. How much longer are we gonna put up with this shit? It has to get to the point. Fox News and all these right-wing fascist freak live hole pits, Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, all these horrible C.J. Pearson monster shows, fascist prick propaganda networks, all of them have to really relegated to history's trash pile. You got to get to the point where nobody takes them seriously. They have to be vilified and mocked and shamed. Well, they don't have shame, that's for sure. But for others, young people, gotta get, young people, most young people, that's the good news. They're not Republican. Republicans know that. That's why they're stealing and gerrymandering and trying to destroy democracy, pesky democracy once and for all. But, oh my God. How much longer are we going to put up with this fascist fucking family? It's got to get to the point. I don't want to see anything. You know, I know that these assholes, they're already trying to name places after these mother effing traitors. They're trying to name highways. Where is this? I'm sure it's different places. Look at this. Oklahoma's editorial naming Oklahoma's President Donald J. Trump Highway. Okay. Donald J. Trump Highway. See here, it's exactly what we were talking about. This article. What the fuck? I hit the wrong button. Come on, man. It's an ad. Here it is. Look at that. Naming Oklahoma's President Donald J. Trump Highway was meant to own the Democrats. Own the Democrats, right? Own the libs. Drink some tears. Trigger them. Make people upset. Upset your fellow Americans. Because you're a fucking patriot, right? That's your policy. Whatever upsets other people. You're a patriot, right? You fucking hypocrites, liars. I hope when we talk about this stuff, it catches on. That other media people and the corporate media itself pick it up and run with it. When you interview one of these effers and they start talking about triggering the libs or owning the libs and drinking liberal tears, call them out. Say, is that patriotism? Drinking the tears of your fellow Americans? Is that why First Sergeant Alfred Inzarelli lost his life fighting fascism? Not First Sergeant, First Lieutenant. Is that why? All of those all of the soldiers in Arlington National Cemetery, or all of those graves all over the world left by young Americans. That's where the young Americans are resting. They did it for what? That's what offends me, when I think about for example, you guys know when I go to the Calvary Cemetery by my house, I pass this one particular grave and it says his name. Oh, hi Tara Jr. And bigger than his name, it says Normandy Invasion. And there's a 20-year-old. I know, honey. Who's been lying there since 1944, right? 45? When was the Normandy Invasion? I think it was 45. But doesn't matter. 44, excuse me, yeah. And he's been lying in that cold grave. A young man, 20 years old. That's it. Jesus Christ, Junior. What the fuck, man? He just stepped on everything and minimized all the windows. What are you doing, kid? We're doing a show here. Will you please sit the fuck down? Sit. Boo-doo bee bada boo bada bee bada boo. Jesus Christ. All right, honey, we know. Stop. Unreal. Where is this? I'm looking for this article again. I lost it because of my beautiful cat. Jesus Christ. What the hell, Junior? Here we go. To own the libs. Governor Kevin Stitt has signed legislation to name a dusty 20-mile stretch of US 287 in the Oklahoma Panhandle in honor of the asshole Trump. Henceforth, the road from Boise City to the Texas line is the President Donald J. Trump Highway. Let me do that again. The President Donald J. Trump Highway. Trump had no particular connection to that part of the state, except he was popular there. It isn't the first time American legislators have named roads after Trump. But it is the first for Oklahoma, and may be the first time a highway has received his name. The same bill named a number of other bills, bits of roads after other people, including blah, 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 whatever. In order to honor Trump and Inhofe, the legislature had to strike out a law that requires honorees to be dead for at least 3 years until they are, first, unless they are members of the military, law enforcement, or fire services who died in the line of duty, or a living recipient of the Medal of Honor. You think Trump falls into any of those categories? Of course not. That rule was unique to Oklahoma, was put in place to make sure pieces of road weren't named after living people who later turned out to be less than worthy. Right. That sort of makes sense. Don't you think Trump is less than worthy as it is? The con man who killed 700,000 people and funneled more money into the arms of people who will never spend it in a million lifetimes, while the American people were living paycheck to paycheck and in the midst of a backsliding democracy. That's what that prick did. He took democracy that was already on the ropes and he beat the shit out of it a little bit more. Now the Republicans are coming in for the kill. Yeah. So you would think, you don't want to name people or things after people who are still alive, because let's say it's like Bill Cosby, where he has a lifetime of work and then he finally, his being a serial sexual predator comes back to bite him, or at least it's exposed. Not that it matters anymore, right? Jesus Christ. And also doing that kind of dishonors you and the state and the country. To do that, to undo your own rule, to make sure that you honor people, legitimate people worthy of honoring, of being honored. But Trump, no, you got to change that for the con man, because you want to publicly fillet him. You might as well do it. Just do it. I'm sure he would love it. He doesn't care. He just wants to be licked. Republicans want to lick him, so go for it, honey, but don't drag us all into it. It's so disgraceful. How do you have a great country when a con man who not only received fewer votes, but a con man with a fake university, a fake multi-level marketing vitamin scam? That's all of the fake. Don't even have a unique idea. Nothing about him has any value. He brings nothing into this world. In fact, this whole world would be better off with that waste of human DNA, that entire family, except for Mary Trump, is useless. A useless waste of human DNA. Disgusting bastards. Hey, what has that gotten us? Turn the other cheek. What's that gotten us? Jesus Christ. Other places have other rules. A toll road in Dallas is named after George W. Bush. While he's still alive, of course. We don't have any problem with honoring Inhofe while he is still living. This is what the writer is saying. Inhofe was a transportation hero. The 5th and 6th lanes of the Interstate 44 in Tulsa are a testament to his clout and willingness to use it for his hometown. Okay, whatever. The expensive I-44 project would never have happened except for Inhofe's efforts as a senior member of the U.S. Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, but that road has already been named for somebody else. All right, blah, blah, blah. Naming a piece of the Oklahoma highway after Trump accomplished its primary intent, which was to provoke Democrats and others whose blood pressures rise at the thought of Trump. It was an alpha dog legislative tactic meant to own the libs. And gauging from the reaction it received, it worked. The Road will probably get more letters to the editor than it gets traffic. Trump is a crass, provocative man who bears a heavy responsibility for what he did and didn't do on January 6th. Naming a lonely piece of road in his honor is peculiar and relatively pointless, other than as an act of political dominance. Those who see red when they hear Trump should remember that it is a deserted stretch of meaningless road that practically no one drives. Well, which makes the honor modest as at best. And that's how the writer wraps it up, but still, the fact that it's even there. And it's also, it's not even the point. The point is, it's yet another example of Republicans doing things to annoy people and thinking that somehow that means they're winning. You see, we're winning when people get health care. They're winning when people are annoyed. And fucking, people are gonna vote for them. Why can't I talk? People will vote for them. Oh, God. Is there a place on earth that isn't filled with so many dumbasses? Well, of course there are, but the problem is our dumbasses have power. Dumbasses are everywhere. You don't give them power. I mean, everywhere there are dumbasses. Don't give them power, man. Don't give them... And also, don't you have any respect, Republicans, for yourself? That you would pull the lever for someone who... I mean, on and on. Pickett, fake university, vitamin scam, serial bankrupt, tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator wannabe, con man with, who pays off porn stars in installment. After cheating on his third trophy wife, who just had a baby, who, I guess, allowed Trump to climb on top of her. What does that take? What kind of? Oh my God! Well, I don't like Melania. She's not a victim. She's a volunteer. She's a trophy wife. Trophy wife number 3. How disgraceful. Imagine, if you will, if Michelle Obama was a nude model. What do you think? Right? Imagine there were porno picture or softcore, whatever they are, tastefully done lesbo pictures with the first lady. That's Melania. Classy. Keep it classy, repugs. Fucking hypocrite pricks. Oh, God, I hate them. But that lady, I mean, she's just one of many. That's her. Who slaps an 80-year-old man? Oh my God. But that's the way it is. Oh, and the thing is, she said, "Who am I?" They asked her to just find a seat in the back because it wasn't a full plane, so there were other seats available, and they were doing a drink service apparently, and she wanted to get back to her seat, but she had to wait. You know, just like some of the pricks here in this fucked up country had to wait for maybe some Chinese crap to be delivered and in a few days instead of overnight. I don't know. And they were all, everything's going to hell. Thanks, Brandon. He ruined Christmas. And then Fox News had the graphics of Joe Biden as the Grinch and everybody ruining Christmas. When they ruin Christmas, they ruin not only Christmas, they ruin the other 364 days of the year. they ruin. Jesus Christ. But the anti-vaxxers here in New York, they're everywhere. God help me if I ever encounter them. They attacked a Burger King. This is what they're doing. This is what, and Republicans love it. See, Republicans have been very effective at turning the American people against each other. Divide and conquer. They will divide the American people along every line, every division, every fissure of disunity, as Henry Wallace described the American fascist. Vice President Henry Wallace, for those who don't know, wrote an article in 1944 for the New York Times, The Dangers of American Fascism, and he described the Republican Party, but without describing. You can recognize the American fascists by their deliberate perversion of truth and fact, how they cultivate every fissure of disunity within the public, every little thing that the American people are struggling with, they exacerbate, pouring salt in the wound of every American. Of course, and we're all goddamn wounded. But anti-vaxxers wearing MLK shirts and the Star of David badges, like they're in Nazi Germany, because everybody's a Nazi. Storm Burger King. People don't need this shit. Look at this guy. Oh my God. And of course, they're just like, it reminds me, Marjorie Taylor Greene holding a sign that says, "My body, my choice." Just like I say, this is why we will win. If we play it smart, if we are unapologetic, and we fight for the policies that protect and cultivate democracy and the infrastructure of freedom. That's how we're going to say it. But here, look at this guy wearing an MLK shirt. So they co-opt the language of progressivism and the mantle of progressivism. That's what they're doing. They're trying to, they didn't earn it. They're stealing it, of course. They have no clue what it means, what MLK stood for, or anybody. In fact, that the lady who was asked to wait while they give people drinks on the plane, that happened to me once. You just fucking sit there. Who cares? And she said, who do I look like? Rosa Parks? That's what she said to the people before she smacked the old man and made an ass of herself. And that's what they do. Who am I? Rosa Parks? Of course, you don't know what the Rosa Parks did or stood for or anything. In fact, if this were the time that Rosa Parks was living in, you'd be the bus driver. You're the ones telling her to move. They're fucking so stupid. And he's wearing this MLK shirt. They like to co-opt, what is it? This is a fascist tactic of what they do. The fascists they take the mantle of the oppressed while they themselves are the oppressor. So, and it's like disarming everyone in that way. It sort of nullifies, it nullifies the crimes that are keeping people down, because when it's real and we start saying this is tyranny, then it's sort of nullified just by the mere fact that they have already exhausted it with their lies. So they have no idea what MLK stood for, and they're not MLK, honey. You're not MLK. Look, around half a dozen anti-vaxxers were caught on video bringing a Burger King in Brooklyn to a standstill. The demonstrators, who appeared to be wearing Star of David badges, were seen shouting at Burger King staff and customers before police had arrived at the branch on Monday night. The New York Police Department told The Independent that 5 people were arrested between the ages of 36 and 44. A demonstrator alleged in one video that mandates are not laws. Apparent derision of the New York City mandate requiring vaccines for workers and access to indoor venues such as restaurants and theaters. Another was heard yelling, "Discrimination!" after Burger King staff refused to serve the demonstrators, one of whom was wearing a jumper, which is a pullover, with an image of MLK. They say civil rights leader, MLK. Members of the NYPD, meanwhile, told the demonstrators to leave the premises at the request of the manager, but refused to do so. Shouting continued until the police made arrests, including that of the man who was wearing the MLK. "Who's willing to lock in arms with me? I want to know," he shouted. "Who will lock arms with me?" Republican figures have recently used the civil rights leaders' comments on race and racial justice and equality to defend their opposition to critical race theory, of course, without mentioning his activism and campaigning, and also sparking condemnation from MLK's family. Well, this is what they do. I mean, everything is commodified and exploited by these fascists. Demonstrators and opponents of COVID health measures have at times made references to the Holocaust and Nazi Germany while attacking rules, often by wearing the Star of David, which was forcibly worn by Jews in World War II. Well, these people are idiots. They don't know anything about World War II, and that's what, and like I was telling you about my friend, she said, do you know anything about Nazi Germany? She was like, accusing me, I guess. I was like, more than you. I mean, yeah, I only studied Nazi Germany and, for years, and I don't know. I didn't get what I know from a meme. But whatever. What do I know? What do we all know? Yeah, everybody's lying, right? We're just trying to get through the day. Not that anybody has time to give a shit enough to lie to these effers. It's bad enough. It's hard enough dealing with the shit that's coming down the pike in reality, right? This is what we're doing. We're dealing with it. We don't have the time to make shit up. Because, you know what? We want to go home. We want to go and rest. We want to sleep. We want to eat. We want to hang out with our friends and family. We want to rest. We want to go to a movie, go to the theater, write a poem, play the guitar, pet the cat, live life. No one's coming up with some ruse, a worldwide ruse. Could you imagine how much that would take? We can't even name it. We can't even get, I don't know. We can't have world peace. What are we going to do? We're going to come up with the world hoax? It's ridiculous. That's right. Yep. I'm reading the chat. Okay. As if I'm not even on I'm like, I'm just reading your comments. Let's see. Richard W. says, the Soviet Union was trolling the planet with USA and capitalism are racist. Eisenhower had to desegregate the military to prove that the USA was not racist. Yeah, I mean, this is part of the problem. I mean, one of the story of World War II, of course, and part of the story was the story of the African American soldiers who went overseas and fought fascism. The country, the Nuremberg laws were inspired by the Jim Crow laws in the South, and the fascists, you're fighting fascism, and then you come home to be treated yet again like a second-class citizen, and especially going to, or let's say if you were a soldier who had darker pigment and you're stationed in Paris or England or after the war or whatever, you realize that they don't treat you like that. There aren't Jim Crow laws. That's why, actually, Frederick Douglass wanted to leave. He was about to leave the country. Frederick Douglass. I think that was after, let's see, hold on. Lincoln did something fucked up. And that's why Frederick Douglass was like, that's it. I'm out of here. And then I think it was one of these compromises, because Lincoln didn't free the slaves because he had such great an abolitionist's heart. He didn't. He tried every which way to appease the South. It's always about appeasing these pricks. He asked the African Americans to leave first. What's the matter, you? Can you hear this guy? What's the matter, honey? Let me see. What's the matter, boo-boo? I think he's got, he has allergies, but I think something's the matter with him here. He doesn't like to be touched there now. I don't know. He's got an allergist working with him. Hopefully it's helping. That's my boo-boo. He's a good boy. He's a little cranky. But I get it. I mean, it's a tough time. We're all a little cranky. We're all a little cranky, Junior. But you're in good company. We all love you. We're in this together. But yeah, I don't know. What do these idiots get out of attacking Burger King employees? The Burger King employees don't make the laws, assholes. Leave them alone. Oh, and then they were calling them Nazis and Gestapo. These idiots don't know. I wish they knew the Gestapo all about the history of the Third Reich, of course. I wish this country weren't filled with morons who think that, 5 years ago we couldn't say Merry Christmas. And remember when Trump gave his, what was that, American Carnage speech, that nightmare? And what the hell? Oh, he was like, of course, said the American dream is dead, and during that speech and every other speech after, we were supposed to have, I guess, well, this is part of fascism, because fascism don't believe your lying eyes. It's whatever they tell you, and it's, forget the future, they redefine the past. You might have seen it with your own eyes, but like Trump said, he will tell you what is true and what's not true. He will tell you what to believe. And he also, all during that speech, I remember he was setting up this scenario or painting a picture of the United States under President Barack Obama as if it was some I don't know, apocalyptic hellscape. There was nothing left. There was nothing left but woke cockroaches and a con man. Woke is just PC. That's why they have no new complaints, no new tactics. They're same old shit. Their ideas are nothing except make the rich richer and keep the dumbasses from pestering you. Right? Oh wait, whatever. Just like what's his name? Eric Trump last year was saying how we couldn't say Merry Christmas. I mean, this is the world that we're supposed to remember. It never happened, but they're going to repeat it long enough. Then you're going to be like, were we not allowed to say Merry Christmas? You'll ask each other, you'll look at each other like, were we not allowed to hang to put up a Christmas tree or hang Christmas lights? I don't remember it, but now I think I remember when we weren't allowed to do that. Because here's Trump. And that's you guys. I know, Junior. Look.
Had gone through a long period where people quit saying Merry Christmas. It's all happy holidays. You deliberately changed that. That's true. Openly said, Merry Christmas, we're going to say it again.
In fact, it was part of my campaign. Like, you know, the country had started with this woke, I guess, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Can you hear this shit? The country had started with this woke shit. We started with this woke. And it was a little bit after that. After we started with this woke. Remember that day? I think it was woke day. It was the day we were all woke.
And it was embarrassing for stores to say Merry Christmas. You'd see these big chains, they want your money, but they don't want to say Merry Christmas. And they'd use reds and they'd use whites and snow, but they wouldn't say Christmas.
Who the fuck are you? Where do you live? What world? What planet are you pricks on? Honey, that didn't happen. If only they would get as energized by reality as they do by bullshit. Remember when the country started with this woke? This woke. We started with this woke shit. You know, where when people said, I would like to be called by this, and you were like, okay, great. And you called them by that, and wow. Remember that woke? That's too much for them. You understand? They don't want to deal with it. This is another thing, and now they hate, of course, they hate trans people, and that's the new, that's their new whipping post. Because there's a lot of confusion. People are dumb, stupid, and they think that Jesus cares about peepees. So, not about compassion and, right, turning the other cheek. That they think that Jesus, the ancient socialist hippie, doesn't believe in everything that came out of his mouth. They want to rewrite it, and that's the most important thing. Remember when the country started with this woke? Honey, we're not woke. We're not woke in any sense of the word. And Republicans, they're going to make sure that remains that way. We're woke? I wish. And what's wrong with woke? I don't get what's so wrong and upsetting about being awake. Which means, well, we know what it's about. It's also a racist thing. Because the whole woke thing started in communities where people have darker pigment for the most part, right? And nothing. It's not a big deal. Of course, the Republicans had to take it and vilify it and bastardize it and turn their assholes against it because they're not woke and they don't want to be. They're not nice. They're not decent. They're not Christian. They may say they are. They're not patriots. They're barely human at this point, really. Because prove it. You're a human? Prove it. That's what I'm at that point. I want to know. Okay, you say you're human, but that's kind of an action, so let's see it. The country started with this woke.
And when I started campaigning, this was in 2015, when I started campaigning, I said, you're going to say Merry Christmas again.
You're going to say Merry Christmas again?
Of course.
Because you're the autocrat who tells us what to say, right? So when we say happy holidays, because there's a lot of people celebrating all different holidays now, Jewish people, they're not celebrating Christmas. Muslims are not celebrating, who's celebrating Christmas? It's not everybody. Some celebrate the solstice, some celebrate Saturnalia.
They're not saying a lot of other things like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. We're never saying Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. They say it. Republicans say it when they want to use the memories of these people in some way to destroy America. Mwah. That's it. Yes, I kissed a cat. I kissed a cat and I liked it. Names are being obliterated because of craziness. But
yes,
they are saying Merry
so
Christmas
true.
again. We got that. That was a big part of what I was doing.
Big.
I would say it all the time during that period, that we want them to say Merry Christmas. Don't shop at stores that don't say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you, we brought it back very quickly.
You really did.
We brought it back. Yeah. He is so unbearable. This country needs to atone for inflicting that asshole on the world. And I don't even mean by his presidency, his so-called presidency. From the time he ever opened his filthy fascist mouth and the corporate lickspittles put a camera in front of his face. We've been enduring this baboon, this fucking orange baboon. Waste of human DNA. Prove me wrong. Greedy ghost of the Gilded Age who hates this country and lacks any ability to function in a democracy. That's why he's destroying it. For his master Putin. This is a gift to his master, so he can go stroke some swords and they'll shove more money into that pit called a soul, whatever substitutes for a soul for this scum.
And I think a lot of people appreciated that it was a part of the American culture. It was a part of who we are. It wasn't to exclude anybody.
Oh, yes,
it was
of
just
course
simply
not.
A celebration of what America does at Christmas.
Well, which is what? What does America do at Christmas? Spend money. Fucking nothing. These people know nothing about their Jesus that they pretend to worship. They're disgraceful. Friggin' Huckabee. We gotta endure, right? All their religiosity, all their shoving their fake Jesus down our throats constantly. For the fake, what? What are they looking for? I guess it's acceptance within their own little cult. Because none of them have the courage to do anything but be like everybody else. And if anybody is different, forget about it. They're out of there. But that's what they're rugged individuals, right? They're so rugged and individual that if you're individual, They shun you.
And America
Be
and
best?
the world, but America loves
They had a Be Best ornament.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish, everyone loves Christmas.
Did you hear this shit? Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, or whether you're Jewish, everyone loves Christmas. Holy shit. Yes. Oh my God. Right? Commander Bond says, can we say Happy New Year yet? Did Uncle Donald fight for that? Right? When can we say? What can we say? What are we allowed to say, my lord? Can we say Happy Holidays to someone who isn't a Christian? Are we allowed? What do we do? I mean, they're so fragile. They're only, of course, Christians are only 78% of the. They might actually be more. How many Christians in America? Oh my God, there's only 205 million? Jesus Christ. So to speak. That's insane. 70%, 7 in 10. I think it went down, actually. That's what they're saying. But it's still over 7%. I mean, 70, excuse me. 7 in 10 Americans identify as Christian. More than 4 in 10 who identify as white Christian, and more than 1/4 identify as Christians of color, which really annoys me. Just the whole color thing is very irritating. Like, that's another thing that divides us. And that bothers me. Christian, I mean, I even see people, I mean, it's hard to know, right? How do you, how to identify people, but it really bothers me that this whole people of color thing, because it's divisive, in my opinion, and it's also sets up the construct of division, and we're all, and the construct of race, when it's nothing. It's a distinction without a difference. But we're not that evolved. I understand. There's a horn going on outside. I don't know what's happening. Someone is leaning on their horn. Oh, geez. We got another troll in there? Bobby Murphy? That's all right. Good. Thank you so much, Haiku, for taking care of these bastards. We don't need it. I mean, it's not that right-wingers don't come and hang out. And you're certainly welcome. But not potty-mouth little nothings who bring nothing to the table. And well, I guess what else can they do? You can't, well, my father always said we can only expect grunts from pigs. It's the truth. Oh, I see. Bots were uploaded machine language instead of human language. It's okay. They aren't programmed to think. Thank you, Haiku. Call-in shows, wow, couple of days, talk about cray-cray people out there. Just talk, and say nothing. Eve is writing on the chat. Is there an echo in here? I don't say displacement and hand me a mirror. Wait, well. Obviously, we're jumping in on a conversation that's going on. Well, anyway. Errol says, Tara, your cats are awesome. I wish I could meet them in person. Well, you never know. Never know where the world takes us. And also, I still have to get that video together of Ray. Where is Ray? he's not there. The video of Ray opening the container of food, I have to get that out. I'm going to put that up on the channel. I thought maybe I should start getting some video of the cats maybe sometimes and just putting them on the channel as, I don't know, something. We can brand it somehow as cat distractions or something like that. And maybe that'll help get us, if we get some views, because I've seen some cat videos where it's nothing. It's like, cat meows as he's hungry or whatever. And it's like 1 million views in 6 months. And I mean, in order to really make money on views, let's say, in YouTube, it's ridiculous. It's not even worth it. But you never know. You never know. That's all. But just because it's also incredible what he can do, that he can open the container. Oh yes, Eve is saying, excuse me, Eve, I know I didn't read your statement correctly. Eve says, I'm saying it's exhausting what they're saying, and it's wearing on me. Yeah, me too. But I feel better now, a little bit. Just talking to you guys, you know? That's the thing. We have to get together. We stick together, we win. Human beings we're not meant to be like this. This is not normal. And I know that, here's another thing. People always talk about human beings as warlike, right? But that's true. But because we're so devolved, like spiritually devolved, where we don't recognize the reality that we are all connected, that it matters. If somebody doesn't have health care, that matters. We're all in danger. That affects us all. If someone's suffering, if someone's hungry, if homeless, and all that, it matters. We're connected, and everything we can see, all of the failings of our society can be boiled down to selfishness and that delusion that we're not connected. So I don't know, when it comes to, the fact that what's going to happen? Will we win? What's going to happen with the country in general? But it's, more will be revealed, but we are on the right side of this. We're on the right side of history and decency, dignity, democracy. It's totally disturbing and depressing, upsetting, because we know somewhere in our souls that it's not supposed to be this way. And so we talk about how human beings are warlike and we've been at each other's throats forever. And a couple of weeks ago we talked about that battle, the ancient battle that the archaeologists discovered before recorded history, thousands of people getting together to murder each other at a bridge. But I think that just because we are warlike and we are so deluded, that's why we attack each other. The fact that there are so many detrimental psychological repercussions to people who have been through war, and you get PTSD, and we know it never goes away, and people suffer and struggle their whole lives having been in war. That to me says that it's not natural, that we shouldn't, that it really isn't in our nature. It may be an option, but we know that we're supposed to be, I don't know, we're supposed to connect. We're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to care about each other, really, and help each other. What the hell? What the hell is wrong with that? And when we do, that's why it's life affirming, and we get the positive effects from that. Sort of like putting your hand on a hot stove. That's what PTSD is from war and violence. I don't know. What do you think? That's my opinion on that, because I do think that if human beings were meant to do that to each other, to commit such violence on each other, that we wouldn't be left with so many psychological effects, so many damaging psychological effects. What do you think? I mean, philosophers have been discussing that for years, it's true. And yeah, I think that one of the maybe positive things that will come out of this time is the fact that the American people might, for now, maybe we'll get to the point where we're done with the selfishness and the cruelty and the drinking tears or whatever of other people. Maybe. Because I know I'm up to here with that shit, these assholes. I'm done with it. And that's what I say. We're talking about, we're not trying to drink anybody's tears here. We're just trying to ensure that people don't have to needlessly die without health care. Or we can have a functioning democracy. How's that? Your vote gets counted and it's fair. All right, my friends. Oh, thank you, Robin M. on the chat. Happy birthday to you, Tara. Thank you. My birthday was yesterday, December 27th. The worst possible birthday. The worst time to have a birthday. But, oh well, it's over. Thank God. It sucks. I hate my birthday. I really do. Maybe one year of a good one. Who fucking knows? But yeah, it always sucks. Because nobody cares. I mean, they're tired. I'm tired. It's right between Christmas and... I also hate the cold. I hate the winter. And I hate that it gets dark so soon. I hate that. Why do we do that to ourselves? Enough. And thank you, Richard. Another super chat. What the hell? Thank you again. Richard says happy birthday and happy holidays, Tara. Thank you. Right back at you, my friend. Paradu says nope, it will only get worse. Unfortunately, conservatives are regressing. Yes, that's hard to stop abruptly. It's true, but it stops. What will stop it? There has to be something catastrophic, unfortunately. It's sort of like the end of World War II. What shook the people out of their stupor? But it wasn't the entire population of Germany. They were never... That's the thing about the rise of the Third Reich, that we should all be very, very wary. Is that they were never a majority party. They never received a majority of votes, even though they legally obtained power, and they're doing it in a way that the Republicans are definitely following as a blueprint. How else can it be perceived? stacking the courts with packing, not just stacking, but illegally dirty tricking themselves into stealing court seats. It's just that's the Nazis. Why don't we hear this shit? People don't know anything. All they know is that the Nazis made the Jews wear things and they killed them, right? That's it. Oh, and they're tyranny. Right? Right? And 01 First on the chat says, guns and shooting are killing America. Yeah. That's another thing. Allowing our kids to go to school with and possibly be murdered by someone with an assault weapon. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous and vile, bloodthirsty, disgusting, greed-centered, and embarrassing. But we should be ashamed. I'm ashamed. I'm also, the other thing, oh God, so many things wrong. Well, one of the things, I hate the insurance racket, right? The health insurance racket, which is probably one of the corporations or industries, let's say, that's killed more Americans than any other industry. Because they're not in it. The health insurance racket isn't in it for health. They're in it to deny care. That's how they make money. It's disgusting. So one of the things I told you guys I was doing some. This is probably adding to my depression. But I told you I watched that Ted Bundy documentary, then all these other serial killer documentaries came up, and I said, watch some documentaries, and gets me very, gets me down, whatever. So, I was watching one of the shows on Oxygen about some serial killer or whatever, and it was a story about this person. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a serial killer, and it was a show on Oxygen, and it was about my monster in my family or something like that. And I guess you know what it was. I was fascinated at or intrigued about people who weren't what they seem. That's what was really bothering me. I think that's what really stuck with me with the Ted Bundy documentary. That, like, the woman who was his girlfriend, who, knowing someone, living with someone, being with them, and not knowing them, that's probably what was getting me. And anyway, so one of the episodes, this woman was talking about her brother, who is now in jail. I think he was executed, actually, because he was a serial killer. And but she said he was her protector as they grew up. So they grew up in an abusive home, and obviously they were put through horrendous neglect and abuse. And the serial killer was the older brother, and he protected his younger sister. And she said that, if not for him, she would not have survived her childhood. And it was just a horror that what he turned into. But the other thing is, as they were growing up, and then they were young teenagers and young adults. And he was sharing with her that he was sick. He said, I'm sick. I have violent fantasies. I need help. I fear I'm going to hurt somebody. And they went to get him help. They went to a mental hospital, and they wanted him to be committed so he can get treatment. Guess what happened? He didn't have insurance. Okay? And in this, half-hour show or whatever, they were saying no one ever brought it up. That's the thing. Why didn't they blame the insurance company? And the woman, the sister, was like, yeah, we tried to get him help. We took him numerous places to get him help. It's not him. It's us, too. The society and the victims that he fucking killed. Because the insurance racket, and I argue this all the time. It's not just about people who are violent, others who are carrying diseases or whatever. It's about the community too. We all have to live in the aftermath and the consequences of conservatism, and that's it. Conservatism killed people. Set that serial killer on the streets, loose in the community without treatment. And it's heartbreaking. I don't know, man. If I were, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. But to think about a family member, yeah, it's blame the insurance racket. They killed. They helped set a serial killer free. Right? Because of money, greed, and in the documentary or the half-hour show, right? The thing I'm trying to do, and what we're doing here, just talking about it and hopefully getting the word out, is changing the conversation, right? Changing the conversation about that. Not just saying, isn't that terrible? This person who was mentally ill, who knew it, who knew he was going to hurt people and wanted to get help before that happened, wasn't allowed to do it because of the insurance racket. I mean, that is a shame and so much pain that was avoidable. And that's what the insurance racket does. It is unbelievable that we're in this boat now where greed is the only American value, but everywhere we look are the consequences of conservatism, and that's one of them. Now, I hope we get to the point where if there's a show like that, or hopefully, I don't know, I wouldn't want another real life thing happening, of course, but if something like that is on the media, that it's also discussed accurately, right? Where we give credit where credit's due. It's the insurance racket is really the problem in the scenario here. It's not just the guy. At least he knew he was sick. He tried to get help. That just makes me insane thinking about that. And imagine if you're somebody who lost somebody or you're a victim. That's what the insurance racket does. We're all victimized by greed. Oh, brother. All right, my friends. Guys. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go watch that Don't Look Up in the Sky or something. There's something on Netflix. Don't Look Up, it's called. Because I was talking to Robyn earlier, and she was like, oh, you should watch this Don't Look Up. And she was the third person today that mentioned that to me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And thank you. Guys, I really want to thank you for everything. Thank you for the super chats, of course, but for hanging out and for being here and being a part of this community. And everything. Your support, financially, of course, but spiritually, emotionally, and every other way. Guys, yep, we will win. That's what they know. That's why they have to pretend and wear MLK shirts and talk about who am I, Rosa Parks, because we're on the right side of history. Exactly. Here comes Tara Jr. We're on the right side of... Come on, come on. Yeah. Here you go. I know, honey. All right, honey, sit down. We're on the right side of history, right, honey? Thank you, guys. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy, and we will win. I'm not sure when we will see each other, but we stick together, we win. I'll see you very soon. I love you all. Thank you.